Okay, we're here post-game after BW beat John Carroll by a final score of 3-2. Joined by a couple of center backs, Bri Osborne and Morgan Gray, along with head coach Jim Wojtkun. Jim, we'll start with you. Your opening comments on a win that was the first win over John Carroll in 12 years.
I tell you, it was satisfying. Although we tried to make it a bit more exciting than it needed to be, it was one that we'll take because it keeps us in the thick of the race for an OAC tournament berth. Then having to be against our crosstown rival John Carroll makes it all that much more sweet.
Bri, I know you've been through a couple of these rivalry games with John Carroll before, so you've been on the other side of close games. Did that help you at all when the second half started to slip a little bit and you guys had some history to be able to lean back on?
I don't know if it necessarily helped, but maybe it was like in the back of all of our minds, especially the upperclassmen, because we did remember how it felt to be on the losing end of things. But so I think maybe it just served as a little bit of motivation for us to not let that happen again.
Morgan, you guys have won 3 in a row now. Defensively, it feels like things have been pretty solid during this good stretch. I realize you had 3 tough games at the beginning of the conference against Capital, Northern, and Otterbein, but what is going better for you guys defensively in particular the last 3 games?
Honestly, I think it's our communication. We've had 2 of our outside backs go down, so it's nice to know that we have 2 freshmen who can really step up and put everything they have on the line and know that we can talk to each other without getting mad at each other. And I think that's the big thing, is we're not yelling at each other, we're encouraging each other. Especially when we do go down in a game, it's nice to know like everyone has each other's backs and just to stay positive and be stronger.
Jim, we've talked about Rachel Bender a lot throughout the course of the year. Tonight she eclipsed another milestone. She became the all-time record holder in career assists, assisting on her 32nd and 33rd goals, the first 2 games, or I should say first 2 goals of the night. Perhaps just a thought on the way Rachel played tonight, because I know we've talked about her a lot on the whole this season.
And one of the things I think we've not touched on is Rachel has been a prolific goal scorer for us, and she's been involved in a significant part of our attack. But I think what people don't realize is how complete a player she's become. And I think this year, I think you're seeing that. The ability to impact the game with the assists, the ability to score goals, at the same time cement what we're trying to do and building on the process. Just like the 2 women next to me, they're all part of building on this process, and they trust the process. And I think that's been a huge help for the last 3 games, how we recapped and recaptured our mojo, if you will. And I think that's all those things rolled into one has sort of propelled us forward, and Rachel's been a key part of that.
Bri, you're a senior on a team that needed some leadership tonight. You had a 2-0 lead, things were going really well, and kind of in the blink of an eye, 2 goals go in for John Carroll. I know you can't really touch on the energy on the sideline, but what was it like when you guys were able to sort of come together on the field and say, look, the game's not over yet, we've got to find a way to at least try to prolong this?
Well, something Jim has always said to us, or a question he's always asked us, is what is the most dangerous lead in soccer, which every soccer player should know. It's 2-0, and we were a prime example of that tonight. But I think one of the things that we talked about after the game was we have 8 core values that our team lives by on and off the field, and the one that was really in play tonight was resiliency. And because it would have been really easy for us to just tie, go into overtime, double overtime, or let them score again, but we didn't. We pushed through and we were resilient, all of us on an individual level and as a team. So I think that is what allowed us to push through and allow us to get the win.
Morgan, we asked Bri this probably a couple weeks ago at this point. The 2 of you have found some kind of chemistry and energy in the back line where you've sort of been able to be an anchor for this team. Being able to look up to an upperclassman who has had a lot of success here, where has Bri helped you not just be good, but succeed and grow as a collegiate player?
Honestly, she's brought my confidence up a lot. I'm coming in, learning new shapes, and the speed of the game is completely different from high school club. So I think having her really push me has brought my confidence up, and especially she knows that I get down on myself on the field, and she knows how to pick my spirits up and be like, hey, you're fine, you got this. And she just knows how to, I don't know, just push me I guess is the word, and she always pushes me on the field, but also off the field. So I think having her to look up to has really like built me into the player that I am today, just because I look at how she plays and how I play, and I guess I've kind of adapted to the way that she's played in a way. So she doesn't even have to tell me to like step to a player. I just kind of know she wants me to at that point where she's gonna step and I'm gonna drop. So I think, yeah, she just really brought everything, spirits up in me.
Jim, I'll give you the last word. I want to ask you about Morgan specifically on set pieces, because more often than not, she'll take your set pieces. And I thought tonight, even on ones that didn't go in, there were a lot of really good services, and it just felt like the chances kept building and building. Where did you initially see that ability in her, and where has she gotten better in your eyes?
Saw that ability several years ago when we started recruiting her, watching her in a club environment and her ability to impact the game from the center back position. But we realized with some of our offensive weapons, we want to really make the box kind of chaotic and then win in that space. And we do that when you hit the snot out of a ball and it floats into the space you want, and you have everything bouncing around. And I think we're good enough in that chaotic environment to make it dangerous. And I think her ability to place it in that space where we want it has really facilitated that belief set in getting it to goal in those key moments.